Welcome to It Had to Happen, episode 3. The crowd goes wild. Yeah, we made it all the way to episode 3. I honestly just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everybody that is just pushing me, that is just so supportive of me, and this idea. I've been pushed about this podcast for a little bit of time, but just everybody supporting me to keep going, because it's not an easy feat. There are a lot of like moving pieces. There's a lot of things probably still that I have to tweak, but it's all coming together, and I'm just thankful that even one person is responding, to the podcast or commenting or even liking it. It means a lot. So if I forget to say that, I'm saying it now, and I appreciate you guys. We are going to jump right into it. This is episode 3. The last episode was love, forgiveness, and regret. Go check it out. We get into some things, yeah. But this time we are going to jump into mental health in general. So, as it pertains to me, right? So, I can't speak on anybody else's mental health. I can only speak on my situation and what I've been through and how I've pulled myself out or how I've gotten stuck trying to pull myself out, whatever the case may be. But we're going to cover that today, and just all around gesture, I guess I'll say. These last couple of days have been kind of eye opening. And this is really why I like to do the podcast because a lot of times there's something on my heart or things take place and I have to get it out. But I can only tell my husband but so much. I can only tell my best friend so much. Like, I just need to get it out and just vent. And then I feel like other people can benefit from it as well. I think that mental health is very misunderstood. I think that it's not taken as serious as it should be. I absolutely think that one's mental health is almost the key to it all, right? So you can have a whole bunch of money, but if your mental health is, you know, there's only but so much that can be done because eventually you're going to crash. So I will begin by pretty much just like going over any like mental health, I wouldn't say issues, what I've battled personally with my mental health. I'll say that. I personally have and am battling with depression, anxiety, slight PTSD, not from the military, believe it or not, but it is just a bunch of trauma and just trauma. So I've overcome a lot. I have absolutely, as an adult recently here, I have, taken the steps to overcome it because if you don't address your mental health, it will try to eat you alive, right in front of people that you love, possibly. And you may not want to address it because you want to still be the funny person or, want to still do what you do on a regular basis. You want to still drink, want to still go out. You can do all that stuff and address your mental health. Um, but I think that it's also addressing your mental health is also looked at as a weakness, which is crazy to me because why am I weak? Because I want to fix myself. I don't understand. Why am I weak? Because I'm saying that I'm not okay. Why am I weak? Because I'm saying, hey, today was a lot for me and I just can't. How does that make you weak? I feel like that makes you one of the strongest people I know and one of the bravest people I know because a lot of people walk around here and act like they can't be touched and act like nothing bothers them and they are crying inside, okay, sobbing, burning, yearning for help, but they won't get it. And I mean that with like all the love in my heart because I've been there. I've been that person that pretends like everything is okay and just, yeah, you want to go drink? Yeah, let's go drink. Wake up the next morning, I still feel the same way. I don't understand. My problems from yesterday are still my problems from today. So, it's just, it's a roller coaster. I'm not gonna lie. It's an absolutely roller coaster, and not the fun one. Like, it's not the one where it's like, woo. It's the one where you go straight up and you come straight down, because that's how it feels. So like, you'll be like all the way up, 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 up. Oh, you be like, yeah, I got life. I'm rocking it. I'm kicking its behind. And then you go right down, straight down, not at an angle, all the way down. And it is ugly. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you that it's cute, because it's not. It's an ugly process. But I think that's also why a lot of people shy away from it, because the dramatics, it it does the most. It's just too much that goes on. And sometimes it's too much for one person to handle. But I will say, and I'm not going to get sidetracked, but I have to put this in here. When I decided to do this episode, I actually already recorded it. However, I recorded it yesterday, and I was so drained. I had a day on Friday, which kind of led me to want to do the episode about mental health. I had a down night, really a down day. And I had to bring myself up out of it. My husband works nights, so he wasn't really there to kind of like buffer that. So I really, really had to tune in to like me. I had to get myself up out of there. I had to like, dig out dig myself out of the hole. And I did it. It wasn't easy. I easily could have just sulked. I could have stayed in the bed, not ate, not showered, not changed my clothes. And you've done it before. Depression, anxiety, it absolutely makes you not want to do anything. It doesn't matter what you smell like, it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter. All you know is that you don't feel good. You don't want to feel good at this moment, and it is what it is. We've been there. You've been there. Don't act like you haven't. And it's okay. Like, it is fine. Like, so who cares? It is perfectly fine. But the problem is that sometimes we want to stay there. You can't stay there. You can't. I promise you, you can't. Fingers crossed, pinky swear, I promise you can't stay there. The longer you stay there, the more you start to believe that that's where you're supposed to be at, or the more you start to believe that this is what your life is really meant to be. Absolutely not. Now, don't get me wrong and hear me out. Your life is not going to be, you're going to have so many ups, but you're also going to have so many downs. But your downs are going to be more so things that life will absolutely happen, but it's not a feeling of loneliness, a feeling of you don't belong, a feeling of it's just circumstances that you can't control. That's God's timing, baby. We can't question that. And that's kind of like where we tap into our faith to make sure that you're strong enough to kind of, you know, believe and understand and trust that you will make it to the other side with his help. Um, I truly and honestly believe every single like step of the way that my life, every turn that I've had like through my life, I've always, up until recently, I say maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe two, um, I will question everything. I have to control everything. I have to know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening, who's gonna be there, who all gonna be there because I'm not going, because if this person going, I don't have time, just stuff like that. Like, and it is overwhelming. It is draining. It is a lot. But imagine me thinking that I'm like making my life easier because I'm so in control and I have everything planned out. The people around me are absolutely panicking because they can't even like, it's almost like walking on eggshells. And yes, I've been told this before. And yes, I probably took it when I was told this, like, I'm trying to make our life better, okay? I'm trying to prevent this from happening, even though it hasn't happened yet, but I'm gonna prevent it from happening because that's what I do. You, how, baby? How? It don't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. There's a lot of things that you can prevent. Um, you know, the weather says it's gonna rain, you put an umbrella in your car. Preventative, right? I'm packing 10 outfits of clothes because 10 outfits for a day trip because a tornado could happen and the car could roll over, and this is how anxiety plays in your head. This is how overthinking plays in your head. None of that stuff is going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong. Some things can take place, but to a certain extent, you're going to drive yourself insane. Trust me, I've tried and I've gone crazy, okay? Where you just have to sit and just be like, whoa, what in the world? What am I? I'm not, it's too much. But I'm going to go back. When I made the episode, that was Saturday night, I had church Sunday, right? So today is Sunday. I came from church today. Tell me what the word was today. I don't remember verbatim, but pretty much it was saying like God wants us to rest, truly rest, right? Mentally rest, spiritually rest, physically rest. At first, I was like, oh, so my pastor been in my business, been in a room with me, telling people at the church my business, and I don't fool with that. I don't like that. But that's normally how it goes. Like, that's how God works. It doesn't matter. They be thinking about it. It could be heavy on you. It could be, and even if it's not from pastor, even if it's not the word, you will see it somewhere else. You will see it. You will, somebody will bring it up. That's the confirmation for you. When I tell you the confirmation that I had at church today about what this next episode was going to be, I could have passed out. I was like, all right, God, I see you, but stop watching me. But keep watching me because I need you. You see? But it was just a good feeling, um, overall. But that was a lot. But either way, so I wanted to start that off, just saying that, pretty much like walking you into having mental health issues or dealing with mental health issues is perfectly fine. It doesn't make you weak, and it makes you a dope person to deal with it and want to deal with it and to be a better person throughout. Now, I will back that up and say, if you're not quite ready to deal with it, okay. So what? It is okay. Just try not to stay there, right? Like, even if your progress is like this little, like, you see how you can barely see this? You see? Even if it's this little, it doesn't always have to be this big, or somebody that's on to be like, okay, I see you. As long as you're making progress within yourself and you can kind of like, check off that mental note, like, yeah, I took a shower today. I didn't want to take a shower today, but I did. I didn't want to get out of the bed today, but I did. I didn't want to go outside and feel the air on my skin, but I did. I didn't want to turn the light on today, but I did, because blackout curtains is absolutely me. The whole house is blacked out. That is a disaster waiting to happen for somebody battling depression and anxiety. But that's why you have to get yourself up out of there, because I don't like knowing that the sun is out. That means that I got to get up and go to work. You see? But you're doing a good job. If nobody told you, you are absolutely doing a good job. I'm doing a good job. You're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. Keep pushing somebody, because you never know when, like, that last push is that one where they're like, "Ugh, I really needed that today. I'm ready to go full forward. I'm ready to go full on. I'm ready to do this." Or it may, trigger them and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm not doing enough." But they'll know that you're noticing and they'll know that you're there. It really, really means a lot. I'm telling you, seriously. So if you know anybody that's like dealing with anything like that, don't shy away, but don't overload them. Don't bombard them. Don't be like, "I'm here. What do you need? Because most times we actually don't know what we need. We don't know what we need. We don't know what's wrong, baby. That's like the human thing to do. If you're like, you call your friend and you're like, "I don't feel good today," or "I'm just not okay today," and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm finna hang up, because I don't know. I don't know. My mind is telling me that I'm absolutely not okay. Do you think that there was like a follow up after that? Like, yeah, okay, so this is why you're not okay. No, there wasn't. And that's a problem with depression and anxiety. That's how it's portrayed. I promise you. And it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but just dealing with it internally and dealing with it for the last however many years of my life, that is what it is. And it is a hard, hard thing to overcome. And I feel like I overcome it daily because the last couple of years, I've been working at it. I've been trying, but for me to have a day like that on Friday, I'm just like, whoa, what in the world? I'm starting a podcast. I got my candle company. My daughter's good. My stepsons are good. Me and my husband are great. My church family, I love them. I don't understand. Like, that's what depression does. It plays tricks. Your anxiety plays tricks like, okay, well, everything is good here, but here's some more stuff that I want you to overthink and make it seem like everything is not okay. Ghetto. Do not recommend, okay? But yeah, so my next subject that I want to talk about, we're still going to stick to mental health, but kind of how to begin to try to bring yourself up out of an episode, right? So, and this is me personally, my advice. Not, I'm not a professional. This is just what works for me. I find something to center myself on, right? So typically it's music. And recently I will say it's gospel music because let me tell you why. You put on a gospel song, I promise you within maybe one shuffle, two shuffles of a song, the song is going to tell you that you can make it. Okay? If it doesn't tell you that you can make it, it's going to say keep going. Okay? If it don't say keep going, it's going to tell you that God got you. If it don't tell you God got you, it's going to tell you all of the above. Okay? Everything that I just mentioned, it will say it all in one song, and that is what you need to hear. That's not for everybody. Some people might want to listen to rock music. Some people might want to listen to R&B music because it's calming. The tune of the songs calms you down. Use that too. But when it comes to, you know, kind of just like a reset where you may be losing it slowly and you're going down and down and down and you're like, okay, I'm not going to make it through today. I've given up. It's too much. Literally the other day when I had my down day, I turned my music on. I started making candles and I said out loud, I am stronger than this. I am stronger than this. Out loud. There's nobody here. So who cares? I need to hear that. I need to say it out loud. Because sometimes when you think something or like you're thinking it in your head, the thought goes away. Say it out loud. I got this. I'm strong. I'm not going to let it take me down today. Not doing it. Okay? We're not having that. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it doesn't take calling your friend and venting because 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work. It doesn't work because a lot of times, and the good friends are great. Good friends will typically, if you have a problem, they'll try to come up with a solution. But when dealing with anxiety and depression, you don't want to hear a solution because there is not one. There's not one. It's internal. So there's not a, hey, well, let's do this, or hey, maybe you should think this way. You can't, it doesn't work that way. So that's why I always say when you try to center yourself and you're having a day, try to do it like by yourself. I know it sounds crazy to be by yourself, but sometimes surrounding yourself with a bunch of people also is misleading. That's causing you to forget about what you're going through momentarily. It may make you feel better, and it may, raise your, it may kind of like trick you into thinking like, oh, okay, no, I can get through this, and you may be able to for a couple hours, but then what happens when you're alone again, right? And I will admit, let me tell you something. It's a little personal, but I would say from the age of 17 maybe or the age of 18, I'm not quite sure, I was never alone. When I tell you I was in a relationship back to back to back to back to back, marriage back to back to back to back. Mind your business. So you see, don't count my marriages. I mean, because I see you counting, and that's the problem. So, but either way, but that's because as immediately, like if I felt something shifting, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be alone again. I can't be left with my thoughts. I can't be alone to kind of like deal with everything. I have somebody else already come in to overlap. And we're starting from the beginning and we're just going through again. As soon as I feel something come in on it, I have somebody else already lined up. No, it's not right. No. A lot of people do it. A lot of people, you know, when you see people in a relationship for a year and then they break up and a week later they're in a relationship again. Yeah, because the last 4 months of the relationship you were disconnected. You were already your mind and body and soul was already somewhere else. It happens. It happens. It really does. But there also comes a time where you have to be okay with being alone. You have to do that. This last marriage, and we'll get into it, I had to be alone with myself for a little bit. I had to really, really dig deep. I really had to be like, okay, I'm probably never going to be with this man again. It is what it is. That was the love of my life. I have to move on. So I'm by myself. I'm sleeping by myself. I'm, you know, not talking to somebody all day, every day. I'm with my daughter. I'm with my church family. I'm just being present. I was okay with that. I was perfectly fine with that. Um, but you won't know until you try, right? So, you know, I'm just thankful for, I'm telling you, my church family is like, we locked in. But you have to find and surround yourself with supportive people, with good people, rooting you on every step of the way, even when you're having a down. You see, don't have people around you having a down. They're like, whoa, all right, call me when you better. Bro, what? Like, and there's people like that. And that's okay because sometimes it does make people uncomfortable sometimes. And that's okay for them too. But just know that that's not somebody that you need around you. No beef. There's no beef. But you have to have people around you that can understand and that can try to just try to be there for you in their own way by not really like saying, I'm gonna just, because 9 times out of 10, the people that's like shying away, like, nah, I'm gonna just let you be, they're telling the next person what you're going through. Nah, I couldn't. I could. They had too much going on. It was too much foolishness there. I had to. You can be their friend, but you see, you don't need people like that around you. You don't need people that are like, "Oh, I'm here for everything," and then you tell them everything, and then everything that you're going through, you hear from the next person. How did you know that, bro? How? No, you don't need somebody gossiping about your downfall. You don't need somebody gossiping about your down day. That is the worst. Imagine your mind telling you that you're the worst person in the world, the ugliest person in the world, you're the worst parent, you're better off not here, and then you tell somebody and then you hear jokes about it, or you hear oh, she's all right, she just faking. Like, what? That's not. Long story short, surround yourself with people that actually give a dang about you, okay? Not what you can bring to the table, not what you, and that was another thing my pastor said today. Don't, I want you to love me for, because you love me, not for what I can bring to you, or not what I can give to you, or what I can, no, I want you to love me. Obviously, he was referencing God at the time, but same. I don't want you to come around because of what I can do for you. Now I'm gonna give you a few laughs. I'm gonna give you a few laughs. We're gonna hang out. We definitely gonna eat. But still, I want you to love me for the friend that I am, or the church member that I am, or the sister that I am, the daughter that I am. That comes with all of that. That's what I want. So I think I said a lot. I'm really, really excited because my next episode, I'm gonna have a special guest. I'm excited. I've been thinking about the questions. I've already sent them to them. And I'm just excited about it because it's a topic that we need to talk about. And I don't care if you don't want to talk about it, because we're going to talk about it, and that's going to be that, period. But I really need you guys to like engage with me. Like, let me know. Like, what do you want me to touch on? Because I'm just coming. Listen, I got topics for days. I got all types of stuff to talk about. Eventually, we're going to get into my trauma. And God forbid, I don't run, okay? This what y'all wanted. All right. You don't have to get on here and put your business out there, but I know that somebody has been through something around about what I've been through. And I want to tell you how I overcame it. I want to show you me. This is not a shell, or this is not a perfect person. This is not somebody who is, you know, screaming like, I got it all figured out. Come see how I did it. I got it, you know, come let me show you and come let me tell you. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want you to see how after I explain some of the things that I've been through, what I look like today, my mindset today, how I go day to day, minute by minute without giving up, because I absolutely could have. That's what I want this podcast to be. That's what I want you to get from this podcast, because it matters. A lot of times, like, we get lost in like transit, we get lost in thought, like we're overthinking too much. I'm not overthinking nothing, baby. I'm not overthinking anything. I see very clearly. And that's hard to say, because sometimes your vision can be blurred because of all outside noise, outside people, sometimes inside people. Mhm. Yeah. We're going to figure it out, though. We're going to figure it out together. We're locked in. Pinky swear. And you have to kiss it, you know? Right. But I hope everybody has a great week. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, like the Facebook page. Just show the page some love, because we're not going anywhere. So I'm here to stay. I don't know what to say. But I really appreciate everything. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, on Mondays, every week, Monday, an episode will drop. And we'll just get into some things. It's not gonna be perfect. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what my background looks like right now. Actually, I am. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that I put a background on here, but I'm sitting on my daughter's twin bed in her bedroom, her empty bedroom, because we're moving. With no sheets, it's just the mattress. I have a phone stand with a light and my MacBook. That's it. So I don't have any fancy equipment. I don't have any fancy. I'm just trying to get this interaction going. Okay. And I made the little, little fancy thing that says subscribe. Well, click it. Oh, I don't know if you click it, if it does anything, but you know what I mean. Subscribe. Just subscribe. It's not gonna hurt you. It don't even cost anything. Just subscribe. Okay. But that's it. Thanks so much. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.